Nyarji chimbu tsudin Nyingma Lineage zoni molam chimbo ngabja tak pakirtanga santu shirmudo. Tumba thugje jala gushan sar shoman chuje yanji pagdana disam sanji kunjingo nyarang sim churko wan sim tonzi zawalama na survande. All right, welcome to Tara Practice, all of you again, and make sure correct your motivation. And I hope you all doing well. And first of all, I would like to say thank you very much for the practice, that you've done for those who are suffering under the coronavirus pandemic, and practice Waitara for everybody, So I appreciate that and thank you. We have, as you know, a wonderful Sangha and great people and a lot of good practitioners. The good practitioners can make the Sangha very powerful. Good practitioners can bring a lot of good energies, and good practitioners can bring happiness, blessings. Good practitioners can bring love and kindness and compassion. And good practitioners can change your life. So that's why it is very important for the Dharma practitioners to have a Sangha and to join the community. So we have a great Sangha, and we are very blessed to have each other, to help each other. And likely in our Sangha, nobody gets sick, nobody died from the COVID-19 so far. So I'm very happy for you, and good job, you took care of yourself and others very well so far. But still be cautious. Still, coronavirus is here. So we have to, after this teaching, we have to remember, if you want to practice Vaitara continually, until coronavirus is gone, it's up to you. And as you know, the last few months we canceled this year our day-long monthly retreats, and especially the residential retreat in May, last May, due to the coronavirus. That was very hard, to do for all of us, because we really like to have those retreats and practice together. So it's difficult for all of us, but we will have, the retreats and residential retreat again sometime, I think soon, I hope, So don't worry about that. And today is my last teaching for a while, maybe for this summer. I won't be teach anything. But of course, I will continue to help for those who are beginners or for those who are new students who are interested to practice Buddha Dharma or whatever, I will definitely, okay, one person, definitely help, individually as much as I can, based on my capacity. So you can contact me, you can call me, you can email me, or if you have a WeChat, WeChat is very good, or if you have a WhatsApp. So keep that in your mind if you need help, or if you have, questions about your meditation or whatever, let me know and I will help you as much as I can. And, I can see that this time, people have been experiencing greater levels of stress and sad and angry, because all of this circumstance, taking place in this country and all over the world right now. So therefore, people are very, I think, worried, and there is a lot of unhappiness and so much sort of negative energy. So, every morning, like when you wake up, you're uncomfortable with this situation. But, now the things are getting better here, much better than a week ago. Things are getting better now. We can see a little bit sort of sunlight coming, So I hope that in this year, in the next sort of coming months, I hope good things will happen. I hope, all of these sufferings are going away and disappear. That's all we want. That's why we are, practicing White Tara. So I hope, I think something is changing. So I hope it's good, for all of us. Last few weeks we're talking about this situation, every Saturday. Usually I'm not a politician person, I don't like politics, and I know nothing about it, and especially this situation, I don't know anything about it. For sure, there different people have different views, different motivation, behind this situation. But I don't know. But for the Dharma practitioners, I think this is a good opportunity to practice, right? So whatever is the situation, just we should focus on our practice. So don't be like so sensitive about this situation. Otherwise, we're going to sort of pick up little things and then we're going to complain about all the time, right? So that makes us sort of very uncomfortable. So we have to just let it go and focus on our meditation. Usually, like, we have, so many thoughts, good thoughts, negative thoughts. We can't finish any of them. So if you have, what do you call it? If you have like an untamed mind, that could be dangerous, right? As I said, like long time ago, that could be more danger than the virus, coronavirus itself, you know. So it's time to subdue our mind. That's all, right? Uh, we have to practice. We have to meditate. Um, uh, this today, my last teaching, that doesn't mean you are going to stop your meditation, right? So you have to continue meditate, but meditate. Don't meditate so hard, you know, because it doesn't work. Um, don't also like create any sort of high expectations. It doesn't work either. So you should think about how to find your balance in meditation, you know. That means you should learn, you know, to be not too tight, not too loose, you know, when you meditate. And don't be very sensitive, you know. I have this experience, I have that experience, I have this dream, I have that dream. What is this, you know, like just open your mind, you know, means open mind is important for practitioners. Uh, um, I have been fortunate enough to meet great teachers in Tibet, right? They are so open. They're always sort of leaving things alone, meaning, you know, nothing bothers them, you know. So we are not like that. We are not doing that, right? We are so sensitive. We pick little things up and then, you know, um, so we are attached to so many things, emotionally, physically, you know. So just try to open your mind, try to accept everything, try to accept yourself. And I think the best way to practice is we should try to do our daily activities sort of mindfully. Um, and if you are comfortable um, with what you're doing, then, you know, like open your mind, and then everything, you know, the situation, the environment, and communication, everything will arise positively, I think. Then wisdom and compassion, all this, you know, will come to you if you are open person, you know. But sometimes we feel like meditation is really boring, you know, because it seems like nothing is improving, you know, nothing is changing. That's why you feel like meditation is kind of boring, nothing is changing. But I think the basic problem we're facing all the time with our meditation is that I think we are too much involved with trying to prove something right away, you know, which is connected with the feeling of not enough, either, you know, worldly or spiritually. Um, that's I think that's the problem, you know. And if you you know, if you expect something like extraordinary, and if you begin your practice with that kind of dream, you know, then you're going to build up too much expectations. So that later, when you're actually working on the path, your mind will be occupied largely with what will be rather than with what is. And if you don't reach that dream, you know, then you're going to lose your goal. Then you're going to lose your commitments. So therefore, I always say, like, it would be best for you to start with something very suitable and beneficial rather than expect something, you know, extraordinary before you are familiar with the foundation, you know, especially for those who are beginners, you know, new students. You have to practice something very suitable, something very beneficial, like bodhicitta, you know. and you need a good foundation for sure. Um, Spiritual practice need very good foundations. Otherwise, you are not going to develop anything. Like, for instance, practice dzogchen without preliminary practice. Practice Mahamudra without, mindfulness, and without bodhicitta. Nothing will it's not good for you, right? So spiritual practice, really need good foundations. Uh, uh, so that's we should practice, comfortable and beneficial, something like that. And when you're trying to sort of prove or get something right away, then you're not sort of open person anymore. The meditation, is important, very important. I think the meditation is like a very long bridge. You have to walk over the bridge in order to get the other side, right? But I think walk slowly is important. I think, because if you walk too fast, you might get some obstacles, right? So then you're not be able to do it, able to get the other side, But if you walk, as long as you are on the bridge, on the path, and keep going, just slowly keep going, then you will get closer and closer, enlightenment, the other side of samsara. So maybe you can, but that's okay. You're as long as you're on the path and keep going, then totally fine. So for the Dharma practitioners, it's very important to have a great confidence, I say, or faith in the lineage, those teachers and their teachings. What we're doing is we're trying to practice those teachings, right? Put into our meditation. So we need to understand, how important this lineage and teachings, and then try to, how do we say, incorporate the practice into your daily life as much as you can. That's all we need to do, don't we need some expectations, but not too much, too much expectation. Okay, let me do that. So it's the Buddha said what we need is very simple. I'm sure you all know this quote, from Buddha. He said, "Dikpa cheyang mepsha shang," means abandon negative actions. Dikpa, negative. Mepsha, dikpa cheyang mepsha, abandon negative actions. Dikpa cheyang mepsha, such as, hurting others, motivated by selfish or anger, and give up pensum tsokparjet, create perfect virtue, geva is a virtue, right? Like develop, very beneficial attitudes such as, love and kindness and bodhicitta and all of that. That is a perfect virtue. And subdue your own mind. Rang sim yong sundal, your own mind, subdue. So we have to watch our negative thoughts, and through the practice of mind training, that is the teaching of Buddha. Then Sanjitamba, if you do that, try to change your attitudes through the practice of mind training. That is the teaching of the Buddha. Then Sanjitamba. So that is the Buddhist practice. For beginners, for new students, practice mind training is so important. So important. That is your main practice. And that practice gives you the freedom, because right now we have so many thoughts we can't control. But if you practice mind training, then it gives you the freedom. And that freedom is what we call enlightenment, right? So the point is, practice important. Practice can bring more compassion, in your mind, in your daily life. And compassion is not always, it's not always sort of looking down upon somebody who needs help. But compassion is more like positive thinking, okay? If we don't have that positive thinking, then it will destroy our inner peace. So therefore, you can see, that the first stage of spiritual practice, according to Buddhism, is to reduce your negative thinking. And this is sort of basic common sense, So the point is we have to make the meditation a part of our lives. It means when we are, for instance, we are talking with people, working with people, whatever, we need to be fully awake and be mindful. And top of that, we need a good motivation. Then you are the best meditator. That's how you make the meditation a part of your life. Meditation is not something different than your daily activity, daily life. So you have to make that kind of meditation part of your life, which is the essence of that is like the mindfulness, awareness, and good motivation. Then you are a successful person, Don't worry too much about, many people ask me, I really want to help others, but I don't know how. But first of all, you have to take care of your life, your mind, Once you have that capacity, then you can start thinking about how to help others. So we have to remember that mindfulness is the key and our sort of basic quality. I mean, you all know these things, but I just want to let you know that so important. If you do things with your mindfulness, then whatever, obstacles cannot take away your happiness. Happiness is in appreciation of the process of your daily activities, right? Your journey. Happiness is for me, is recognition of the preciousness of this life that I have. It makes me happy when I recognize that. Happiness is appreciation, of process of my daily life. But in order to recognize that, I need mindfulness, right? So once your meditation sort of become a part of your life, then, it gives you everything. Wisdom, motivation, inspiration, confidence, commitment, satisfaction, and so on. So then you will understand the inner value, because these things are our human quality. Then we will recognize the value, the love, compassion, kindness, patience, bodhicitta, forgiveness, tolerance, and all of this, self-discipline. These are the common practice, And on that level, as a human being, we can develop genuine harmony each other. I think sometimes we don't value that we have all of these sort of great opportunities. And as long as we follow these negative thoughts, we will endlessly experience the suffering of samsara. And then, of course, it's impossible to develop happiness in our daily life. So what I'm trying to say is we should practice every day, every single day, so that slowly, right? Meaning without too much expectations, so that our mind will get stronger automatically if you practice every day. Otherwise, if you keep sort of on receiving more and more teachings, but you don't practice, and then those teachings remain like just as information, what is the point, right? We then slowly, we have sort of less and less desire to practice. And then you are sort of further and further from the reality, from these qualities. And those people are like, some I know Westerners, they know a lot about Buddhism. And then they don't practice. The problem is then you know everything. Okay, this is this problem. This is not good. This, Mahayana's point of view, this. Vajrayana's point of view, there is a contradiction. What should I do? I have a worry about it. Hey, you are not there. You just don't practice. You are just, that's why, it's lots of problems. If you receive lots of teachings and then you don't put them into your practice, that's the problem. That's Buddha said, that's not how my disciples, practice. You receive, you investigate, then you put into your practice. When the mind is sort of influenced by ignorance, then there is not much wisdom, not much compassion. And if compassion and wisdom is missing, then life is empty. But, if you make time for your practice, and you practice every day, and more importantly, I think you should be patient with the challenges of your practice. Practice is not easy, right? Practice is not easy. Meditation is hard. But you should be patient with this difficult, with your practice. Just keep going. That's why just slowly practice, keep going. And then your desire to practice the teachings, increase. If you practice every day, the more practice you do, the more you have this, you have the confidence, and your understanding of the value of Dharma will increase. That's so important. Understand the value or benefit of practice Dharma, But if you just receive, and don't practice, then you don't have the value, because nothing is there. The teaching and you, there's so big sort of gap between the teaching and you. So then you don't see, then you don't appreciate. So so we should, practice it. Try to practice every day, no matter what, So as I said, I will. This is last teaching here for a while, so therefore I would like to give you some suggestions to help you sort of establish a daily meditation routine. If you are a beginner, if you are new, but don't worry, my suggestions are very simple, very, very simple. Means you need to choose a time of day, that works for you. Very important. Then try to meditate at that time every day. I don't like practice today morning, tomorrow evening. I don't do that. I practice like on time, make schedule, make a time. And then I practice at that time every single day. As I said, no matter how long you meditate, try to meditate with mindfulness. Don't forget, mindfulness and awareness are the key. Actually, you can't practice without mindfulness awareness. These, the most important part of your daily sort of meditation, mindfulness and awareness. If you are a beginner, you need to take the stages of the practice, go step by step. Then your meditation will be very stable. Otherwise, you can practice that, you can practice this, then you are all over. And then there is nothing like, you don't see the destination, So you have to practice step by step, Don't make your practice very complicated, And then, of course, you need to correct your motivation when you start practice. And at the end, make sure you dedicate it. That's all. Khyentse Rinpoche, his sort of hot advice, I will tell you. He said, Lama mabjetak sorvatop. It means don't forget your teacher, your guru. Pray to him at all times. Takda sorvatop. Lama mabjit means don't forget your teacher. Sorvatop means pray to him. Takda means like all the time. And second, his advice is rangsim maya rangu rangitu. It means do not let your mind be distracted, and rangsim maya rangu rangitu. Rangu means look into, rangitu, look into its very essence. It's very natural, you know. Rangsim Maya means like when you meditate, there's nothing outside there. It's you have to focus your inner sort of mentally, you know, make sure that you understand how how your mind works, and then try to understand the nature of your mind. And then third, his advice is Chiva Mabjit, means don't forget death. Chula Kurmatop, Chiva Mabjit, Chula Kurmatop. Don't forget death. Let encourage you towards the Dharma. Chula Kurma. Kurma means like encourage. Chu means Dharma, right? Chula Kurma. Encourage. Let you encourage your, you know, practice the Dharma. You know, because when you practice, you know, impermanence, you know, then it helps you encourage, oh, life is short, life is fragile. So I need to practice, right? So encourage you towards the Dharma practice. That's third advice. And then last, Simchin Mabjit, do not forget all sentient beings. Simchin Mabjit, Nyarji is compassion. Mua means dedication. Molam means sort of aspiration, right? So don't forget all sentient beings with your compassion and dedicate your merit to them. So that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do every single day. Lama mabji tagda survato, ransim maya, rango rangitu, chiva mabji chula kurmato, simchin mabji nyangji honmanchi. Okay? So so I think that's all I have. And today, now we're going to practice Vaitara again. I hope these teachings, you know, help you, benefit all of you. But the most important is we all know how to meditate. We all know how to practice. So you have to take your responsibility. So every single day practice is so important. Now let's all right.